And welcome back, everyone. We are back from outer space. And I just walked in, you see it here, to look at this My Hero What If. But we are back with My Hero. And the poll spoke. I just got done doing Hyōrinmaru for Naruto. And now the first Deku Zanpakuto video, people want Hyōrinmaru. Okay, it's not that big a deal. I knew that with the series, we were going to go through them all at some point. And there were going to be repeats, sure. I just would have liked something different than what I had just done. But whatever, it's fine. So what if Deku got a Zanpakuto, or had a Zanpakuto, the Hyōrinmaru edition? So I had to, with this one, I had to think of how a Zanpakuto works in this version. Do I just make it, like, with Naruto, it's an easy world for me to figure out how that works. It's an ancestral sword. It still has the spirit in it. It got used by someone in his family. He can use it. There you go. But because quirks exist in My Hero, and the vast majority of the world has quirks, whereas the vast majority of the world does not have bloodlines in the Naruto world that could, work in that sense, I had to think, how do I want to do this? And I had three options. A, I just give him a quirk that matches the Zanpakuto. B, the Zanpakuto literally manifests as the quirk. Or B, a hybrid of the two. I don't want to do the quirk one. Well, and the thing is, all three of those options are viable in this world, based on the way Zanpakuto can kind of work. But I don't want to do the just quirk, because that just defeats the purpose of the Zanpakuto video then. Because now he just has a quirk that mirrors the Zanpakuto without having a sword. Add on to the fact that many Zanpakuto don't necessarily have an ability that lends itself to being a quirk. Hyōrinmaru, for example, Ikaku's Zanpakuto, just turns into a 3-section staff with a chain in there, and then turns into giant F-off blades. Like, that's not a quirk that really works without being a sword. So then there's, okay, what if he manifests the sword as a quirk? That's his quirk. And I like that more, but I feel like something is missing with that. I think that works better for like the physicals, the Zanpakuto that have to have a sword basically for them to utilize their abilities perfectly. Let's use Shunsui, for example, Katenkyo Katsui, which manifests children's games into reality. Part of the appeal of that is having the two Chinese scimitars there. So that one I feel like, okay, I feel like that needs to manifest the blades first, and then the Shikai abilities and all that come with it. I think that's how that needs to work. Swords like Zangetsu, swords like Zabimaru, swords like Wabisuke, all of those need to, I think, be swords in order for them to really work well here. Others, though, like Ryujin Jaka, Hyōrinmaru, Zenbo Zakura Kageyoshi, any elemental type Zanpakutos, those, or like Kyoka Suigetsu, those have abilities that you wouldn't necessarily need a blade to make work, but I think the blade still needs to exist for it to be a Zanpakuto What If. So how do I reconcile those two differences? And I think, I will go back and forth between what I'm doing in this and the second option. I'm not going to do the just straight quirk without a blade option, because like I said, it defeats the point. But the idea here is this. First off, we don't know his mom's last name, as far as I know. We don't know her maiden name. We know her married name, Midoriya, but we don't know her maiden name. So, this is my idea. Somewhere down the road in his mom's lineage, there was an early hero with a quirk. The quirk would obviously be whatever the Zanpakuto is. And the quirk itself is almost like a all-for-one scenario where it does kind of have a mind of its own. Well, before he died, he had a support item that encoded his DNA and his quirk into the blade. It's not necessarily unheard of for us to have. We know support items exist, and we know quirks can be taken genetically. That's how Nomu were made, and like put somewhere else. So this thing would be genetically coded and locked, and could only be used by a descendant of this person. Inko never, I believe it's Inko, right, is her name? His mother never wanted to be a hero. Maybe her parents never wanted to be a hero. Maybe this is like her grandfather, which would be Midoriya's great-grandfather. And so when Midoriya finds the blade, I'm going to say around age 10 is when he finds it. He's cleaning out the basement. It's in storage. He finds it, and it's locked, and he puts his hand on it, and something feels almost like a cold burn. And I can think the effect would change based on the Zanpakuto. It's like his hand's kind of stuck. It's like, what is it? And then all of a sudden he's in his mind. And there is Hyōrinmaru. Although, I think Hyōrinmaru in this version can take the form of his human form we see in the anime. This could be what his ancestor looked like. It's a good thing Kubo made the human versions of these things. But it's like, hello. It's like, so you are the one who awakened me. It's like, wait, who are you? What's going on? It's like, quiet, calm down. John, let me explain. And he explains who he is. My name is something something this. Well, Hitsugaya. Honestly, we can even use the names of the users because maybe her maiden name was Hitsugaya. It's something. My name is something Hitsugaya. It's like I was the wielder of this blade, specifically the wielder of the quirk that is now seeping into your DNA. It's like, wait, what? It's like, sit down, I'll explain. Long ago, I was a hero. I was one of the early heroes. Technology was still advancing then, and my time was growing short. But I knew my quirk quirk could not be lost. It's too great of a power to be lost. So I spoke to the high scientist I could. It would cost me a king's ransom, but we were finally able to make it work. This blade, I used it in countless battles to augment my abilities. But it's been upgraded with a genetic genetic encoder lock, whatever you want to call it. The quirk has now entered your factor has entered your bloodstream. And see me, wait, you're saying I'm getting a quirk? Indeed, but it's not so simple. And that's where I think the real good marriage of the two happen. And let me know what you think on this. Midoriya is getting a quirk through this, but it's not like he can instantly use all of Hyōrinmaru's abilities or anything like that. If anything, he'll never have the full potential of Hyōrinmaru without his Zanpakuto. Without the Zanpakuto itself. For example, he could use maybe the full brunt of the Shikai, but he'll never be able to use the Bankai without the sword. I think that's a really good way to make sure the sword itself is always necessary. But beyond that, it takes forever. He needs to constantly be like with Zanpakuto in the Bleach universe. The longer you spend with it, the more you impart your Ryatsu into it, the more you awaken your Zanpakuto. Well, the longer Midoriya stays in contact with the blade, the more it augments the quirk factor he's getting. So, for example, he just barely touched the sword. At best, he can maybe frost over a mug. And not even like ice. I mean, like wipe it with your finger off, it briefly melts. He could do like that. Like, haha! So, but the longer he holds on to it, the stronger his quirk factor gets. And so, that, I think, is the good marriage of these abilities. It'd be the same whenever we do Ryujin Jika. Like, he wouldn't be able to just suddenly go, but he'd be able to be like, eventually he could be like, hey, look, do you like, hey, he could do something like that. And then later on, it gets stronger and stronger. Again, it's all about how often he's using it. And so, Midoriya is sitting there, it's like, do you understand, Midoriya? You've been given a great gift. What say you? Izuku. He just sees Izuku's like, oh my god, thank you so much. And he's like, oh god, this might have been a mistake. It's like, wait, I gotta tell mom. And he wakes up out. He's like, mom. I was like, what? This, what? Why didn't you hide this? And she was, oh my word, that was my grandfather's sword. Did I never tell you about him, Midoriya? Oh no, he was a great hero. They had one of arguably the strongest ice quirk anyone's ever seen. But I never thought at all that you would want to use that blade at all. It's so dangerous. I just want you to be safe. No, you don't understand. Look, and he's like, and she sees like lights or something on there, like the genetic logs. Like, what is this? I just spoke to him, great granddad. He's like, It's like, what? And then he explains what happened. She goes, my little boy's got the quirk. Oh my god, you never hear him, please. Oh my word, but that sword is going to be dangerous, and we're going to have to register. I guess we'll have to register it as a support item for you, won't we? It's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. And I guess we'll have to get you some kendo lessons. Luckily, I know. Luckily, the place down the street should be fine. I'm sure there's a kendo dojo somewhere. And so, and this is our Midoriya age 10 to, I believe it's 15. How, I can't remember. Is he 16 when he graduates, or is he 15? I know it's like a year after the fact between when he passes when he graduates, meets All Might, and when he's accepted into UA. I know it's a full year roughly. I want to say he's 15 going on to 16. That's what it is. So for 5 years, Midoriya is training with this. Now, keep in mind, Midoriya, for the first 10 years of his life, didn't have a quirk. So he's still very much known as Deku by Bakugo. Now, Deku eventually does show off he does, in fact, have a quirk, to which Bakugo's like, what? And he makes an excuse, yeah, I was a late bloomer. The doctor said, it happens sometimes. And he goes like, ha! He shows off some eyes like, that's it? You can make my drink cold? Please don't make me laugh, Deku. There's nothing you could ever, even if you do have some lame little poofy ice quirk, it's not gonna do anything against me. Just get lost, loser. And Midoriya's like, damn it, I gotta get stronger. And so he trains night and day with the classes, and Midoriya is a good study. So he gets, first off, you swing a heavy sword around. I mean, swords aren't generally that heavy unless you're using like a giant greatsword or something like that. But a katana isn't going to be that heavy, but it's still going to build up muscle. He is going to tone up quite a little bit, and he's going to get his reflexes better. His actual physical capabilities will actually be up to par with Bakugo, but Bakugo is a straight physical fighter, combining his quirk with it. Mid-range, long range when he can, and just get in close. So he is certainly, I think, the better fighter than Midoriya. Midoriya's got more formal technique, though, so he's got that going for him, and he's got a cool sword. Now, the question on when Midoriya understands when he can use his Zanpakuto and when he can't. Like, does he know the release command of Hyōrinmaru right now? And no. This is something that Hyōrinmaru, as he'll be known at from here on in, that was his hero name. And that's another thing. I think the Zanpakuto is called Hyōrinmaru. And I think the Zanpakuto's name should have been the name of the hero back in the day. I think that's kind of a good little marriage, too. But Hyōrinmaru's waiting for the right time to be able to tell Midoriya his, the true name of the Zanpakuto, if you will. It's like, I will not tell you this quirk's name, or whatever it is. I will not tell you the name of it. But what do you mean? Because to know the name is to know its true power. You will have to continue, Midoriya, with your training until I deem you ready. So the 5 years pass. Obviously, you get to cut to basically the beginning of the series, where they're in class, and it's like, I think you all want to be heroes, right? Yeah, you all got a good shot. Midoriya, I believe you applied to UA too, huh? It's like, yeah, I did. But even to be fair, this time the class doesn't laugh at him because he does have a quirk. And over those 10 years, his quirk has grown. Now, instead of being able to, just do like a little frost, he can, as long as it's like a liquid, he can flash freeze something pretty quick. Not like, say, a whole lake, but it's like, say, a big bowl of water. He can flash freeze that pretty quick. He can even create like a decent sized icicle and just kind of poof and launch it. Like, he can launch it at a pretty good degree or a pretty good velocity. So you just boom, but that's about it. Like, right now, he can't, you throw Hyōrinmaru or anything like that. But 5 years down the road, he does know Hyōrinmaru's name and release command. So he does that. But he doesn't bring the sword to school because there's no reason to bring that to school, apart from just being in contact with it constantly. And so Bakugo eventually corners Midoriya and says, look, we both know you're not going to you're gonna get into this academy, so don't bother embarrassing yourself or me, So here, let me help you with that. He just tosses the book out, blows it up best he can. Midoriya's just looking at it, like, hey, you think, what's that, jerk? Midoriya he's still pretty, not gun-shy, that's not the right word. He's still very nervous around Bakugo, but I think Hyōrinmaru helping him out has given him a bit more of a backbone. And Bakugo actually sees his fist turn cold, turn ice cold. But Midoriya's he's giving Bakugo a look, and Bakugo's like, "You want to do something about it, Deku?" And just and just kind of no. That's what I thought, loser. And Midoriya goes and he gets his book. And here's where a very different scenario happens. See, Midoriya was going under the underpass and he got caught by the slime monster, or the sludge monster. And originally he couldn't get out of it. I can't grab all this. No, it's gonna hurt only for a minute, and I'm gonna use your body to get out of here. You're my real hero. You couldn't do anything. Here, Midoriya's getting choked out, just suffocates, and then realizes he's liquid. Ah! Oh God! It's like, back off! And like chunks him or falling. You little! It's like, we're not bad, kid. Not bad at all. It's like, oh, you Detroit smash! And Midoriya kind of gets blown back. Oh, hey, you okay? You okay? Hey, you're all right, indeed. Yeah, that wasn't a bad little tactic you did there. Granted, as soon as I thought him, wait, what happened to the brother? He's in here. I had to thaw out those pieces you froze off him, but other than that, it was smooth sailing, thanks to you. If you hadn't have stalled him, I might not have catched up with him in time. He's like, oh my God, you're all my thing. Oh, here you go. Oh my God, he signed it. Now take care. Midoriya, however, doesn't. I mean, yeah, he might want to ask All Might a bunch of questions, but there's no real need for him to be like hanging on to him here, because he was desperate to ask All Might questions about whether or not someone could be a hero without a quirk. Here, I don't think he needs to ask All Might that question. He has a quirk that's growing stronger every time he's got Hyōrinmaru. So I don't actually see him needing to do that. Which means All Might gets the sludge monster to the cops, Bakugo never gets attacked, there's never the incident there, and All Might's not inspired by Midoriya. Now, All Might isn't going to be just on his way to give Lemillion, why am I blanking on his name? I'm trying to see if I can remember his name before it pops up. Let's see, Lemillion. Lemillion. Mirio. That was his name. Mirio Togato. Or Togata. But anyway, yeah, because he wasn't on his way to go give his quirk to that kid, Mirio. That's not what was happening. Now, Nezu did say, he's a promising subject, absolutely. But he wasn't on his way he wasn't going to give him that quirk right on the way. He was looking for possible candidates. And Nezu said, this kid's a good candidate. So there's nothing about what happened there that would make him interested in Midoriya. But because of the way the timeline works, he is watching the UA entrance exams. And Midoriya taking on the 0-pointer is always something that would happen, because that's what Midoriya does. And so Midoriya, with the bell rings, Bakugo even shows up and says, and say, huh? What's with that? It's a support item. It belonged to my great-grandfather. And it's something I use. It's like, you think because you wield a sword, you're getting some sort of badass now, huh? Man, you're so full of yourself. It's like, will you please be quiet? And so Midoriya's like, okay. It's like, and Hyōrinmaru's talking. He's like, you've got this, Midoriya. There's no reason to panic. And it's like, right, I got this. And he and the bell rings. Oh crap, the bell rang! And he has to get in there. He's like, okay, Reino the frozen. And then the robot comes in. Oh crap! Reino for the. Oh god! It's like, crap! I gotta get something quick. And then the 0-pointer comes out. Oh, that's not good. And then he sees Uraraka. There's like, oh no, it's that girl from earlier. It's like, no, she's gonna get. It's like, crap, I gotta do something. It's like, Midoriya. It's like, that's a 0 point. That's not worth that. It's like, it doesn't matter. Right over the frozen heaven. And everyone's watching. Is that kid really going to Hyōrinmaru? And then they all see the cloud, the sky, the ceiling, if you will, the arena darken. It's like, what's going on in here? And then the ice dragon comes in and just slams into the 0-pointer. And then Midoriya actually collects ice around his blade to make it huge and just slice it. And he quickly rushes in to try to save Uraraka from being crushed by the ice. Nearly trips, but then she catches. I got you. It's like, come on, I got you. And then he's using ice, Hyōrinmaru, to get out of the way, and the 0-pointer goes down. But beep, that is the end of the match, and you have 0 points. So I was like, thank you. So yeah, no problem. Wow, your powers are awesome. How were you not able to get any? How were you not able to score anything? They were all it was all happening so fast. I just wasn't really able to do much. And then Midoriya's like, and just he's working out, and that's when he gets the acceptance letter. And I still think it would be All Might, because All Might took notice that Midoriya was the only one to not only go after the 0 point, but the reason he went after it was to protect someone. It's like, you're Mizuka Midoriya. I remembered you from the other day, from that time with the sludge monster. Good to see you again. Well, I mean, sort of. I am on camera. Anyway, yes, you might be wondering. Well, your score was about a little above average. I actually don't know what his actual written score was. I think it was passable, his written score. It was like, you didn't score anything. But we weren't just solely grading on those points. There's also points you get for heroic actions, like rescuing individuals. And the 0 pointer is the biggest rush you can get. So, 60 points. Congratulations. Welcome to your Hero Academia. It's like, And so Midoriya, is heading to UA, meets Uraraka again. And Baku's kind of glaring at us, like, that idiot. Because Baku wasn't paying attention to that. He didn't know what Midoriya... He still doesn't know what this sword can actually do. All he knows is Midoriya has what he thinks is a weak little ice quirk. Speaking of which, by the way, Midoriya has still been practicing with Hyōrinmaru, which means he's now he's probably got... His flash freeze will never be on the same level as, say, like a Todoroki. At least not without using Bankai completed. In fact, at that point, then it goes well beyond Todoroki. The thing about the Bleach swords is that even some of the weakest ones can mollywop the majority of the My Hero world. The scaling is just completely different for these two shows in anime and manga. But anyway, but he can now actually kind of summon ice. Like, he can even make, like, ice claws now. Like, he can actually hold ice. And he notices, too, he's got a good resistance to cold. So that's something that's good. So he can throw ice at a decent trajectory. So he can do kind of like that. So kind of like, hee. And so when the physical test happens, Midoriya just realizes, like, my quirk isn't really going to do much for any of these tests. And then he notices It's like, and he raises his hand. Eraserhead? What is it? Am I allowed to use my support item for this? It helps me with my quirk. Baku's like, helps him with his quirk, please. You mean your sword? You think your sword's going to do anything? It's like, no, again. Well, Ayama's able to use his. It's like, Ayama needs to use his quirk because use that for his quirk. Otherwise, it will cause great damage. It will hurt his body. So, no. And whereas you just need it for augmenting your quirk. So, no. I want to see what your physical abilities are like without that sword. However, but he doesn't pause. However, I will allow you one extra pass. I will allow you to use the sword after everyone is done. Basically what he'll say is, after it's all done, Midoriya, you said you wanted to use your support item, and he asked him to go get it. Now let me see what you can do with that, just because. So that being said, it wouldn't help him a lot, but Midoriya say using his Hyōrinmaru blade to, like, launch himself over the jumps and the hurdles and just launch the ball into oblivion. That would be pretty useful. Still, Midoriya goes through all these all the tests. He's really not that much better here than he was back in high school. However, what he does do is he's holding the ball. He's like, well, go ahead, Midoriya, and he's just holding the ball. He's like, there's got to be some way for me to. And he just thinks about it, and he just summons an ice spike, which is bigger than his normal ice spike. He summons it through the ball, and he just goes, huh? And just, it just launches out, and it's impressive. Like, it gets maybe not as much distance as his did, but almost as much. And it's like, ha! And Embracer Aizawa is just like, not bad, kid, not bad. Bakugo's probably not as jealous because if I remember correctly, Midoriya actually did beat his score, which is one of the reasons he was so pissed at Midoriya, beyond the fact that he's had a quirk that he thought he was hiding from him. Bakugo is still not happy when Midoriya is just trying to think he's looking cool and all that. So when the training exam begins, Bakugo's a little less pissed at Midoriya, but still wanting to beat his ass. And so, Deku. Man, you want to talk about great early arc villains? You would not think he was a deuteragonist. Is it side protagonist. Deuteragonist, I think it's called something like that. You would not have expected that initially, based on the way he was in this series. He's like, oh no, you're the rival antagonist. This man, I'll always comment on it, but man, what a douchebag in the beginning. Like Bakugo was written as unlikable as you could make someone. Anyway, Midoriya though, Midoriya's outfit is almost exactly the same as it is here. I think it might be a lighter shade of blue. It might even be blue to match what Midoriya mentioned to his mom about how Hyōrinmaru Hitsugaya looked. So he's still got the rabbit ears, all that. Baku comes in, Deku. It's like he's after me. Just go. It's like, you think you're getting away, and then Midoriya just grabs him, and he freezes. Baku goes going, boom! You go your right hook. You're always coming with it. I've been watching you for a long time, Baku. That's why I'm not going to let you win. I'm the Deku who never gives up. And it's like you shink, and so there. He's got the tape. Baku almost catches Baku. Baku realizes that his gauntlet, he's not going to be able to like fire, is messed up. He throws some of the mechanisms in the gauntlet, but he still comes in and uses it as a club, just smashes Deku in the face. Now, All Might should at some point stop the match. In fact, I do think that around the point where he like launches the gauntlet, fires the gauntlet at Deku, that should be where he stops the match. But Deku does call out. It's like, no, I'm fine. I can handle this. Meanwhile, though, before we get to that, Baku's still holding the edge, but Midoriya is ching, 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 throwing some ice on it. It's like, you're throwing icicles at me? Come on! And it's like, come on, Deku. Don't let me down, buddy. Come on. And so Midoriya's just like, because the only reason you said your sword augments your quirk, right? Well, come on then. And the reason Midoriya doesn't release Hyōrinmaru in right now is because this is not that place. He needs room because it literally affects the weather just by releasing the sword. And in here, this would not be, it's too cramped of an environment. It's the same reason he wouldn't, say, release Ryujin Jakai in there or something like that. It's just, that's not a good play at all. So, Midoriya's just I can't, I'm not going to release it here. And it's like, the person I admire most, shut up! And so, you and your worthless quirk are better than me? No one's better than me! And it's like, and then he talks about if they, how my quirk works. My palms are going to sweat that's like nitroglycerin. I can detonate it. And if they've followed the designs like I asked, and this has been storing it up for one big shot. Bakugo, don't you dare! You'll kill him. He'll be okay as long as he dodges. Boom, and blows all back, and Deku's just he just sits up on the swords. Crap. It's like you. I should. Bakugo, this is your only warning. Do that again. That's a stupid move even for a hero or a villain. Do that again and this match is over. You will be disqualified. Because he does see something in Midoriya. So it's like, that's it. I'm calling a stop. I think it's more along the lines that he maybe is about to, that's it. I'm calling it. No, you're not. And it's like, huh? Deku says, not yet. It's like he said, as long as I dodged it, I was alive, which means he didn't break any rules, right, All Might? Come on. It's like, this is between, I'm not done yet. And he just sees that look of fire in Midoriya's eyes. Like, very well then, but Bakugo, you do that one more time, and you and your team are disqualified. That's a stupid strategy, whether you're a villain or a hero. Fine. Whatever, I don't need it for him. What's the matter? And so you think you're going to take me on? Come on, Deku! And, something, Bakugo, you really are the best, but you're also short-sighted. Huh? There's a reason I haven't released my sword. I haven't released my full power yet. I couldn't releasing it because it was too cramped, but thankfully, thanks to you, you opened up the door, and he just flips it to his left hand, saying, reign over the frozen heavens. Hyōrinmaru! And all of a sudden, the cloud starts like, what? And Bakugo feels like it's getting cold. What is it? And then, the chain's there. Bakugo's like, you! He's suddenly grabbed by the sickle chain. He's like, what is this? Just blast the dragon, but what? And his legs are frozen. He like drags his sword on the ground. The ice is coming with it. Just exploding his hands. Bakugo's like, and Midoriya's like, it's not gonna hold him. I'm gonna have to do something else. He basically then just blows the ice up. Just it basically keeps his hands away from the ice. Just, and no, I can't. And it's like, yeah, the ice isn't my ice of this level isn't gonna hold you right now. Granted, he can do stronger ice, but like he wasn't trying to kill Bakugo or anything like that. No, it's more of I'm just gonna make sure you can't hit the ice, and then I'm gonna don't worry, I'll come back and get you out as soon as this is over. Right now, I gotta help Uraraka. You get back here, Deku. You. And then he comes in, helps. And the hero team wins, and Baku's like, he finally is able to kind of crack out using like vibrations. He's freezing, but he's like, I lost Deku. and yeah, and the MVP of this was Ida. I was like, what? Although Midoriya probably would get some shout outs for creative thinking. Like minimizing damage, because if he did go all out, it would not be good. Things along those lines. Bakugo says, this is the last time you're going to beat me. And so that's where we're going to end part 1. I think that was a nice little chunk of the beginning taken care of. We'll get to the attack on the USJ later. It will also be the UA Sports Festival and things that happen in between there. I think that is the next solid part. Well, we'll see what happens in the next part, but maybe I'll get all the way to Hero Killer Stain. Who knows? Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.